What are 5 things you can do under $500 that can make your house sell faster and for top dollar? That's what we're talking about right now. Hey, I'm Vito Scarnecchio with the Abitano Group powered by Coldwell Banker. Today we're talking about 5 things you can do for under $500 to make sure your house sells faster and for top dollar. Before we do that, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell to be made aware of upcoming videos. We post a new video here every week and we would hate for you to miss any of them. We talk about restaurants and events and all sorts of stuff when there's not COVID around. But we also talk about things that we're doing internally, and we show houses, and we give little hints on how to sell your house faster. And that's what we're talking about today. All right, so I've been selling houses for over 18 years now, and I've learned quite a bit on little tricks and techniques that you could do as a homeowner to make your house look a whole lot better for not a whole lot of money. Especially if you're willing to put in some elbow grease. But if you don't have the time to do it, don't worry about it. We have people that can manage that for you. All right, so the biggest one in my book is clutter, outside of smell. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. Clutter. You go into pretty much anybody's house, including mine, because you can see it right here, clutter. When you see a house that looks like this, you see a house that's lived in. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with living in a house and having your little tchotchkes everywhere. That's completely fine. Typically what we like to do is use a rule of thumb saying no more than 3 things on any surface. That means a wall, a dresser, your desk, what have you. That way it looks bigger, brighter, and airier, and it doesn't look as messy. And the idea is you're getting ready to move anyway, so might as well start packing up all those little tchotchkes and memorable things. Number 2 is clean. Now, I'm not talking about clean like you live, and typically people do a really good job keeping their house clean, but what we're talking about is spick and span clean, talking about knocking down cobwebs, getting into the oven and cleaning that out, getting underneath the bed, behind dressers and desks, that kind of thing, just making it sparkle and feel and smell clean. That includes your windows. And a little quick hint about windows. When you wash your windows, you want to take your screens off and wash that part of the window, but you also want to scrub the screen and keep that clean. We also want to talk about keeping your house looking brighter and airier. And what I would suggest you do is you take all your screens and store them in your garage and let the buyer put them back on. And the reason why is those screens actually filter out about 20 or 30% of the light. And when you open up your windows and you see there's no screen there, it makes it look a whole lot brighter. All right, number 3, fixtures. Now I'm talking about doorknobs, lights, and cabinet handles as well. And if your house has brass on it, you might want to consider updating it. And this might be a little bit more expensive than anything else that I'm suggesting to do, but it's going to have a massive, massive impact on your house as well. And what you're looking at doing is if you have a light with brass chandeliers or sconces or what have you, consider updating that. And what you're looking at is you want to look at brushed nickel or rubbed bronze. And those are the new in fixture color templates right now. It's right there, could have read it. All right, number 3. Number 3, fixtures. Now this could be one of the more expensive things you could do to upgrade your house, but if you have brass faucets, cabinet handles, doorknobs, and light fixtures, consider upgrading them. And what you're wanting to look at is either brushed nickel or rubbed bronze. And that's what people are looking at today. And believe me, when you do this, the whole impact of your first impression when you walk into a house is, wow, this house is already updated. And it'll make your house look a whole lot more modern. And it's just a couple little things. Yeah, it's a lot of work to change out doors and cabinet handles and faucets and that kind of thing. but it'll make your house just pop and wow the buyers that come through. So number 4 is curb appeal. Now I'm just talking about driving by, you say, wow, this is a pretty looking house. I'm talking about getting into the nitty gritty and the details, because when people come walking up to your front door, they're going to be noticing a lot of things. And what we don't notice here as a homeowner is you typically just let things kind of go. But what I would suggest you do is tighten up the trees, hedges, make sure your lawn is nice and green, plant seasonal flowers. Your house collects a lot of dust, believe it or not, and you can get a power sprayer at Harbor Freight, or you can hire somebody to do it, but just power spray the dirt and dust and grime off the front of your house and it'll look 100 times better. All right, number 5, stay tuned because I do have a bonus one. Number 5, staging. Now, everybody's like, I don't want to stage. I don't want to pay to stage my house. That's a lot of money and I don't see the value. I can show you case studies, but I'm not going to argue that with you. If you're going to stay in your house and sell it, we can stage your house for you, or you can do it yourself. I actually have another video on how to stage your house on your own, and you can go take a look at it and do it on your own. But the idea, guys, is that you want to declutter. We already talked about that, but get rid of bulky furniture that takes up a lot of space. When you have to walk into a room sideways, that's a good indication that you need to open up that room and give it one purpose. So if you have an office that's actually a bedroom, keep it the office, but that's great. Just get rid of a lot of the bookshelves, books, any kind of knickknacks that you have, and make it look nice. If you have a living room and you have 5 couches in there, probably want to drop it down to 1 or 2, have an ottoman or a coffee table, just so it gives it a purpose and it looks big and bright and airy. And don't forget the decor. You always want to add some updated things. You know, pictures like this, I'm kind of 50-50. I personally like to see pictures of families in houses. It kind of gives the idea that the house has memories in it, and that's really what we're selling. We're selling the ability to make your own memories in your new house. But if you don't want to do that, you want to take it away, or you have privacy concern, that's absolutely fine. You can go to Ross, you can go to Marshall's and pick up some really cheap, new looking tchotchkes and pictures to make your house look a little bit more modern. All right, so the bonus, number 6, smells. And I can tell you this from one of the couple of last houses that we sold. We have dogs. I mentioned that earlier in the video. We have dogs, and I know my house smells like dogs. They sit on the furniture, which I don't really care for. So I have sheets there, which if I sold my house, I'd get rid of the sheets. But they tend to leave their smell everywhere that they sit, and that's okay. You just have to be aware of it. So it's another reason why you want to bring in a professional cleaner, is because they can come in and find out where those smells are, whether it's in a carpet or your couch or their bed. I can tell you that the beds that my dogs sleep in, they're pretty stinky. So if I went to sell my house, they'd be gone. But there's also musty, mildewy smells. There's dusty, grimy smells. And you really want to, for the next couple days, open up your windows and let fresh air come in. And that's really, really important. So get rid of those smells. And the other thing is about smells is it will turn buyers off. We had a house listed for over a month. Granted, we had a tenant in there. It was really difficult to show the property, but all the comments that came back was, it smells like dog, it smells like dog, it smells like dog. So when the tenants left, we shampooed the carpet, and it wound up not even helping because it was so badly damaged. Put in some really quick carpet, and it sold in 3 days for $100,000 over asking. So smells are important. If you didn't take notes, don't worry about it. I have a checklist that you can download, and the link below in the comments. Feel free to take a look at it and let me know what you think. Do me a favor real quick. Take 2 seconds and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also hit the like, the little thumbs up, and the little bell, so you'll be notified of upcoming videos.